With over 700 episodes, the series The Simpsons, which has been broadcasted since 1989, is the longest-running animated series in the world. The fact that the authors have repeatedly predicted events in old episodes, which later actually occurred, we have already reported to you several times. Among them were such curious things as that Trump will become president, that the Capitol will be stormed in the US, or that the iPhone will be invented. Today we have for you 7 more violent predictions from The Simpsons, which have now actually come true. In this video you can expect amazing technical inventions, a statement from Homer that surprised physicists around the world, and the prediction of the Ukraine conflict. So make sure to stay tuned here at Wonderlane. Let's start with number 7 in a Simpsons prediction, which shows how incredibly precise The Simpsons can sometimes foresee the future. While Game of Thrones fans all over the world were still puzzling over how the fantasy series would continue and what events they could expect in the finale, they could actually see them in The Simpsons episode called The Slavsons, 2 years before the extremely popular fantasy show actually ended. In Game of Thrones, hardly anyone would have expected that the Dragon Queen Daenerys goes crazy and the entire city of King's Landing go up in flames, and this despite the fact that all the citizens of the town had long since surrendered. But that's exactly what actually happened on Game of Thrones in episode 5 of the 8th season in 2019. In The Simpsons, the Yellow family was seen running around King's Landing 2 years earlier and could be seen saving themselves on the city walls. Just like in the original episode, a dragon gone wild flew over the city and set it completely on fire with its flames. The same chaos occurred in the real Game of Thrones finale, and perhaps the creators were inspired by The Simpsons. Let's continue with number 6 in a prediction from The Simpsons that should astonish physicists all over the world in the future. In episode 22 from the 10th season in 1999, Homer Simpson talks to the physics genius Stephen Hawking and presents his theory of a donut-shaped universe. Stephen Hawking replies that this theory is so fascinating that he might have to steal it. Even if the idea of a donut-shaped universe should be only a joke, many well-known astrophysicists assume since the last years that our universe is really donut-shaped. More than 20 years after this theory appeared in The Simpsons, the New York Times even published an article in which several scientists suggested that a donut-shaped universe would explain, for example, why some galaxies that are actually too far away can still be observed from telescopes on Earth. By the way, the donut universe was not the only prediction from The Simpsons that surprised natural scientists. In fact, correct mathematical and physical predictions have appeared more often in The Simpsons. And this is no coincidence. One of the scriptwriters of the series, David X. Cohen, taught math and physics at Harvard University before he started writing for the series. And so he doesn't miss the opportunity to incorporate some amazing knowledge from his own fields into The Simpsons. Now let's move on to number 5 in a violent scandal that The Simpsons had correctly predicted years before. It's about the NSA spying scandal from 2013, when whistleblower Edward Snowden revealed that the NSA, a U.S. intelligence agency, was monitoring people around the world and analyzing their data. Even top foreign politicians were monitored by the NSA, and so there was a worldwide outcry. Until the revelation by Edward Snowden, no one was aware of the extensive technical possibilities of the NSA to spy on people everywhere at any time. The authors of The Simpsons had an idea, probably already 6 years before. In The Simpsons movie from 2007, it was shown that the NSA has countless employees sitting in huge offices, who eavesdrop on every private conversation of normal citizens and take down the information. Such an idea is not too far from reality, according to information from Edward Snowden and data from WikiLeaks. On number 4 is a particularly eerie prediction from The Simpsons. In the episode Fresh Fish with 3 Eyes from the second Simpsons season in 1991, Bart and Lisa are shown fishing at a lake near the Springfield nuclear power plant. In the process, the kids catch a 3-eyed fish that has apparently mutated due to radiation from the nuclear power plant. The episode then goes on to discuss the dangers of nuclear power for the environment. 20 years later, in 2011, this Simpsons episode then also became reality. In Argentina, more precisely in a lake near the city of Cordoba, a mutated fish with 3 eyes was actually caught. And disturbingly, this was not just a freak of nature, but the fish appeared in a lake into which the local nuclear power plant pumps its boiling water, just like in The Simpsons. Environmental researchers in Argentina also blamed the proximity to the power plant for the mutation, which is why the water should no longer flow directly into the lake. Continuing with number 3 in a Simpsons prediction from the 1998 episode Homer Joins the Navy, which has now recently become frighteningly real. Namely, in this episode we see that the disintegration of the Soviet Union was only a trick of Russia and that the military power actually still exists. In a flash, tanks and soldiers reappear, as well as the Berlin Wall, and the world is threatened by the Soviet Union, which was actually believed to be dead. In fact, even a war between Russia and the USA is hinted at. This clip from the old Simpsons episode has now gone viral on the internet since the beginning of the Ukraine conflict and is interpreted as a prediction of current events. In fact, Between the sequences and the actual events are really great parallels. In particular, the depiction that Russia still longs for the old greatness of the Soviet Union is indeed true. Putin declared several times quite openly that states like Ukraine actually belong to Russia, and many suspect that this idea has also moved him to the attack on the country. The Simpsons creators have now even issued a statement on this prediction, explaining that they had feared since their youth that Russia would attack other nations in order to restore their old Soviet greatness. However, the creators of the program did not expect that Russia would really attack the Ukraine. Now let's move on to number 2 and a topic that has been gaining momentum lately, namely VR glasses that you put on and can then immerse yourself in virtual realities by means of them. Meta, the company formerly known as Facebook, is planning to create huge worlds in which literally anything will be possible virtually. Of course, the topic has already been covered in movies like Ready Player One, which takes place almost exclusively in such a virtual world, and you can even buy VR glasses to play with at home for a few years now. But what has only been a topic in reality for a relatively short time was already a topic in The Simpsons in 1993, almost 30 years ago. In the episode Homer Gets Going, Lisa tries out VR glasses in history class and travels virtually to the times of Genghis Khan, where she talks to the conqueror. On number 1, after all the unpleasant things and crises predicted on The Simpsons, we would now like to finish with a really nice thing, and that is with a pronouncement made by Bart's friend Milhouse in a 2010 episode. In the episode, Milhouse, Lisa, Martin, and other kids bet on who would win the Nobel Prize in economics. Afterwards, they sit on the sofa in suspense and watch the award ceremony. But Milhouse is initially wrong with his tip in the episode. He had bet on Mitt Professor Bengt, R. Holmstrom. In 2016, 6 years after the Simpsons episode, Holmstrom actually won the coveted prize for economics, and Milhouse's prediction came true in the end. For the professor, it was certainly a bit scary that the most important award of his career was predicted in an animated series, especially because he himself would never have expected it. That's it for our video. Write us in the comments which of these predictions surprised you the most. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time here at Wonderlane.